Critters in Taiwan.
Other side of a shopping episode. Are you talking about in personal experience, or
Yes, my guys had we had a shopping episode on on Sunday, and I had stuff to do. I had plans, and
like shopping or otherwise?
No, otherwise. And they decided that they wanted to turn this into a shopping episode.
So you Travised it up.
Oh, it was brutal. It was not fun. I had a whole thing all set out for them. I was like, here's the plan. You're going to go do this. You're going to go do that.
Oh, that's right. You're DMing.
Right. And so they decided they wanted to go shopping. And I'm like, okay. And there's a little bit of a time crunch. So yeah, it wasn't very.
What can you do? I mean, you know.
It was fine. It was fine. I dealt
D&D.
with it, but yeah, it was just D&D.
And that's, you know, as far as I understand it, that sometimes that's how it works, right?
That's exactly how it works, yeah.
Hey, check this out. I've got sleeves on, a fucking collar. I've got my window open. There's no AC.
We've
weather
had
up here
AC
is
off
nice.
over here for a few days now. It's great.
It's still pretty hot. Yeah. Wait. You haven't had it on?
No.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I'm already actually a little bit warm, but we'll be all right. Hey, we're on.
Hey, cool. We're on the internet. Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I am Ben and Gaosheng.
I am Tim and Taiwan.
I'm a little bit raspy. I've been doing a little bit of shouting in the classroom these days. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see Lacey down there over in the kitchen.
So I'm a little bit. I gave her a treat. Shut her up.
I'm sure she deserves it.
Tonight we are talking about Campaign 3, Episode number 37, From the Boughs.
From the Boughs.
Yep.
All right.
No, sorry. From the Boughs.
Boughs from the Boughs? From the Beauregards?
The Buffs?
From the Buffs. The Boughs.
The Boughs. There's so many. I love the OUGHs. What is it? The Dr. Seuss one is the tough coughs as he plows the dough.
Yeah. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Hey, house cleaning before we start?
House cleaning. Spoilers. I'm done.
Yeah. All right. Done.
Yep.
That's how fast it should be.
Let's get ready. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Before we get into things, we have a couple of things from some peoples that have commented on things that we have had to say.
Yeah.
I'll say the first one is from Demetrios Lazaridis. He brought up the fact last week we didn't understand how everybody knew about Gwen.
Yep.
Gwen DeRollo. Apparently that's in the one book I don't have, which is the Tal'Dorei campaign book Reborn.
Which you said.
The new one, which I kind of mentioned. I was like, I think it's probably in that one, which it is. And Demetrios pointed out that Gwen is profiled on page 265 of that book. So
yeah,
go get it. Pretty
specific, man.
Very specific, right on it.
That's
it makes sense, right? Like it's it's there. So yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's news to me. When I see a comment that's news to me, I'm like, dude, that's amazing. Yep. You know, like if you don't know it, I just assume nobody does. Of course, it's not true because there's a whole fan base out there.
The second comment we got was another conversation piece from our good friend Ben Hamilton.
Yeah, not challenges anymore. His words, cool. Not ours.
I'm down with that. Well, that's my fault. I said they don't feel like challenges. They feel like just conversation pieces. So. I prefer a conversation piece. I gotta stop kicking that camera.
Yeah, it's twice now, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm shuffling my feet a little bit. So he asked us how we felt the three campaigns stack up against each other right now,
as far as the characters at this level, this far into their stories.
Yeah. So at level 7, which is a great point, because this is exactly when at level 7 is when we first started we first saw Vox Machina.
Yeah.
They started streaming at level 7.
Yeah.
So really good question. Vox Machina versus Mighty Nine versus Bell's Hells.
Yeah. How they stack up.
I have my ranking. I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Go for it.
The easy one, I suppose, is Vox Machina. So like when they started, they were in Craghammer and they were going downstairs to go check out this ziggurat, which we didn't realize was going to be so damn important. And then they fought a fucking beholder down there at some point, right? Or was that the first time, or was it the second time?
No, that was the second time. So
okay.
I think you're mixing them up. They fought
Am I?
Nagas, I believe.
Oh, okay.
The snake people, the big snake, half person.
Was this not Clarota times? Because I know he who should not be named was there, and he left because he's like, I am not facing a beholder. Are we sure?
Could be. It's been a long time. I do not like watching those early episodes. They are painful to watch.
Yeah, they are.
It's just the sound is awful. The video's not great. They eat food through the entire episode.
the fucking the sound. That's not the right button.
Yep.
There we go. Of all the chips and whatnot. They were going down there to find Kima by Allura's recommend.
Oh, that's right.
You're right.
Yeah.
And she was there, and she got sent down the crevice where the beholder came from. She survived.
Was that Craghammer the first time, or was that Craghammer the second time?
It seems to be lining up right now because that is why they went down there, you know?
Sure. I don't remember.
If we're wrong, you know, sometimes we're wrong. So it's kind of easy to remember because that's my first impression of the Vox Machina. And it's kind of hard to compare the two, you know, from this campaign and that first campaign, because that was my very beginning of D&D in general and Vox Machina. So at the time I was like, oh, this is a flawless game. If I go back and watch it now, I'm like, Jesus, what a shit show.
Yep. Very much so.
And this one is very well put together, and they're all very well versed, and, you know, like, except for the homebrew stuff that nobody knows about, including us.
Including them.
Yeah. So, at this point, they seem, you know, in campaign 3, much more put together. They're much more cerebral about their decisions and things like that. And, I would stack them at this point. I don't know about if we're talking about necessarily if they're battling each other in some fun one-shot battle royale. That'd be a tough call, you know, because they were just kind of playing characters who they just kind of wanted. If
you were to pit each party against the identical bad guys, so let's say,
okay, that's a good metric.
If you were like to say pit them against, it wouldn't be the same it wouldn't necessarily be just one. It would have to be several battles. So let's say face them against a dragon. Let's say face them against a
beholder,
an army. Let's say a beholder. Let's say if we were to face them against a series of enemies, which one do you think would in a ranking? Which ones would come out looking best?
Because with a beholder, campaign 3 is not looking. Bell's Hells are not looking so great. You know, because they got a lot of magic going on here.
That's right.
You know, so I think with the beholder at this level, which Vox Machina did, even though they had a lot of errors and stuff like that, I don't know how well they do. You know, I mean, Orm would be the fucking powerhouse there, and I don't know if Ashton's abilities would be canceled by the line of sight, would they?
Who knows?
I don't know if it's magical effects
weird,
or
right?
what.
Maybe because it is a school of magic.
Yeah, so like it's weird to have like a barbarian who's, you know, debilitated by a magical, you know,
a
magical, what do you say?
Anti-magic.
Magical fiend, anti-magic fiend.
Anti-magic.
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, so I would say Bell's Hells at this point, if they faced a beholder.
It was like when the Mighty Nine went into the folding halls and they fought that big golem, the construct with the dispel magic cone.
Is that the level 7 time for them?
No, they were way past level 7 at that point.
Because that was a question I had for you. Where were they at level 7?
I'm gonna guess where was Mighty Nine at level 7? That's a good question.
Was this around the time Molly died?
No. That's way before that.
Okay, before that. Wait. Sorry. What do you mean way before that?
7
was before that.
Molly died at like level 4 or 5. Because remember about a couple of levels ago, Travis said that I'm going to now be the farthest that anybody's gone on Bloodhunter.
Oh, right.
It was a bit of a poke at Taliesin.
So they had Caducee.
Yeah, they did.
And this
it might have been.
Was this around when they found the tree?
Yeah.
When Jester was wearing the leaf costume and they went up to the rock nest around that time?
Maybe. Yep.
Huh.
That's in Jorhas. I don't know.
That leaf costume.
we'll have to figure that one out another time. We're getting off track here. Let's just think
Well, I
about
mean,
what they.
I would like think when I look back at Vox Machina from the lens I have now, it seems like they were just like ready for that battle, you know.
Right.
And then the more role play kind of came in later because they're just like, oh, eating food, and just like, oh, dungeon run, let's go. Especially Travis, you know.
Sure.
And yeah, I would say as far as battle's concerned, I would say Vox Machina's kind of got the upper hand here,
Okay.
you know. But they do have a lot more cool shit these days. But yeah. Like if it was a battle royale or versus a particular enemy or a group of enemies, you know, in each chance, if you let the computer run, you know, you just let the push
let the
play on
algorithm
the code, you know. I think Vox Machina is probably going to do the best.
And then number 2.
Number 2, that's tough to say, you know. I'm just thinking of like for regardless of the level, I'm just thinking of like the how well the characters work together. What are they called? Campaign 2. Mighty Nine. They've got the 2 clerics at that point. We got the Mercy cleric or the Battle Mercy.
Yep.
And then the actual cleric. They were rocking it pretty well when Caducey showed up.
Yep.
They were pretty indestructible. Like they didn't have a lot of near deaths.
Taliesin brings that up in this last episode a bit. Where he's like, you know, I set the goal. He's sort of saying he set the standard for clerics. So it's because, you know, it's true. Caduceus was a real heal, buff, debuff first cleric. So.
Sure. The Bane, the Bless, and then all the Death Cleric stuff.
And all the
canceling
healing,
20s, you know?
Grave Cleric. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. At this point, I mean, yeah, it's real hard. It's like it's kind of like apples and a slightly different apple to compare the two. Yeah, I don't know. I would say Vox Machina and then Mighty Nine and then Bell's Hells. Yeah. I think if I had to choose.
That's exactly my ranking. I put Vox Machina, then Mighty Nine, then Bell's Hells. Yeah. And my reasons are slightly different, but they're very similar. Vox Machina felt like it was chosen by Matt. Yeah. That he was like, we need a barbarian, we need a ranger, we need a rogue, we need a bard, we need a fight. Well, they were playing Pathfinder, right? So they were like, we need a fighter. And Taliesin, who has a lot of experience playing D&D, was like, I'll be a gunslinger because it's a little more complicated than a regular fighter. And then they needed a cleric, and so it was your stereotypical archetype of a adventuring party. Yeah, I think Vox Machina at any point in its thing would mop the floor with the other 2 campaigns.
I think so too.
It's just more. It's just better put together. The Mighty Nine, because of the reasons you said with the 2 clerics, they're just a better, and with a straight wizard, they're just a better party. Than Bell's Hells is. And I think what my take on it, as I was sort of getting to realize that Bell's Hells wouldn't be as powerful as the other 2 campaigns, it's because of their growth as players. Yep. That they're choosing to branch out and try more and do more interesting things that they think are more interesting.
Yeah, like from the beginning, like Vox Machina was like basically kind of a video game. Yeah, you know, and then Bell's going all the way through all this and all the emotion, all the crying, all the laughing, and everything. Yep. Now they're more of a show than a video game. Right. Yeah. Right. So, which is interesting. You know, as I've got a comment way later in this episode, realizing how terrible of a combat cleric FCG is. Like, just honestly, man, Sam couldn't have picked. We can talk about it now, or I can save this for later, or whatever. But it's here now. Go for it.
It's not good. It's not good. He's the sympathetic binding and all of that stuff is not anywhere near on par enough for pretty much any of the other clerics. I would say it's one of the best role-playing clerics we've seen, but it's one of the worst combat clerics we've seen.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
my opinion.
Caduceus is up there because when Caduceus came in, man, what a natural role for Taliesin, you know. Yeah. And he also played it extremely well because he's very well versed. But I don't know. Sam's got the charm, you know. Different charm. Not saying Taliesin doesn't have charm. Mm-hmm. But I'd go in that rank. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
But
right on. Hey, Ben Hamilton, great question. Thank you very much for that. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Shall we get into tonight's episode?
Let's rattle through these quick little
from
points.
the Boughs.
Not a
Previous
ton
release?
not a ton of deep things to say.
Listen,
just
before we start, can I just give my hot take on this whole episode?
absolutely.
Actually, these past two episodes, because I'm going to group them together because they're kind of the same. They
yeah,
have been.
I was getting confused a couple of times.
They have been amazing. These 36 and 37 and the astral projection episodes. They've been incredible. They've been super touching. There's been a lot of like moments of like sincere, not panic, but like I'm like, oh fuck, this isn't good. This is bad. Oh, that's amazing. I can't believe they're doing this. This is so cool. This is fun. This is neat. All of this stuff. The whole idea behind these is more of a giant skill challenge.
Yeah.
These two episodes have just been one real long skill challenge to get Laudna back. And I had this. Oh, I'll save it for the rollies because I'm going to win the first one.
Okay, because I have a easy one for that also.
Okay,
All right,
sure.
let's get the rollies in. I'm going to start up with an 8.
I'm going to start with a 16.
Man, I can't win for the life of me. I've been rolling under 10.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm calling an audible. I'm changing my mind. I just looked at my
I was all
notes.
prepared.
I was looking at my notes. I kind of forgot about this. What do
I
you
think I'm
think
just going to
about
go straight from the top here. I think they're all, anyway.
I'm going from the above the top.
Ooh, look at this guy.
The ad reads. What did you think of the new logo?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was lovely.
Good piece of art.
Wonderful piece of art. What did you think of the little gem in the center? So it's BH
Right,
combined,
with the-
and then there's a little freaking thing hovering above it. It's a red gem of some kind.
Now that wasn't Ruidus.
No,
Because Ruidus
is
goes
down at
inside the other moon.
Katha and
But there's
Ruidus
another
are
thing
down at the
above it?
bottom. There's a little
Oh.
like an apostrophe or like a little thing floating above in between the B and then where the H, the two lines they meet up right in the middle. There's a little gem, a little sparkly red thing that's just
I may
sort
not
of
have caught
floating
it.
there.
I think I was too distracted by the the BH design and the Ruidus in the middle.
Sure. I'm really curious if it represents something. I'm also really curious if it's going to change color as they go through because it was red.
yeah.
And
Or
I'm
if it's
wondering
just
if it's like,
flavor.
are you gonna shift? Are you gonna go? So that's my sort of right. Yeah, that's it.
Something to keep an eye on during episodes because it's now in the back there.
That's right.
And like
It's
if
on-
that
it's on
thing
in the
changes
windows.
colors, shit, maybe
Yeah.
it did change colors this episode.
Yeah, maybe.
I've only
I think,
seen it 1.5.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was my little thing. I like the fact that it's made of wood. I think that's a cool little touch.
Yep, yep.
I do like the B and the H combined. The moon theme is fucking hella cool.
Did they say who designed it, or did they just?
No, I think they just popped it in.
I wonder if one of them or they collectively did it.
Maybe.
Oh, because if they're not going to credit somebody, that's got to be it, right?
They might have credited somebody. I tend not to pay attention.
They
to
always
that.
credit people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to be my yes and, but
Okay. Then
this is
it
one-
doesn't have to be.
one
I
of
called
the-
an audible, so you feel free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, but in response to that, for that part, I turned my phone this way so I could see chat.
Okay.
Just to see somebody complain or something, like when it's out there and it's showing it. And I'm just like, let's just see what they're saying about this. Because I'll turn the comments off. I'll turn the phone sideways so I don't see comments, because
Right.
I don't like to see that shit.
Yeah.
But I know it wasn't everybody, but the first thing I saw was a simple comment saying, I don't like it. And I'm just thinking like, okay, we've got this art gallery here in town in Taichung that they put on, and like there's artists all over the place that like they have their display. Can you imagine going in there and being like, hey, I don't like this one. Like, what the fuck are you accomplishing other than just being a douche? Like, what's that person trying to get across? I did see others where they're like, ooh, it's so nice. Oh, it's great. But then a couple others like, nah, that's shitty. It doesn't even look like an H. It's like, holy fuck, man. Like, what do you do with your day? It's just a great little design.
Lot of shouting and look at me, I don't like things.
There it is. Yeah. Maybe there's a lot of young listeners with, the attention complex thing.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Okay.
I go to chat. I've told you this before. I watch the chat for comedy value, and that's it.
Yeah, I think I got my share of it.
That's not true. I do occasionally look at chat to see if somebody has something insightful to say, but 99% of it is just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's I expected it and I got it. And
Perfect.
moving on from that. Okay. Well then I'm just gonna all these are so simple and quick, so I'm just gonna start from the top here for a little yes and. Quick thing, there was a dude in Whitestone. I think this is from the last episode. I don't know if it was Kynan or not, he's from campaign one,
Okay.
where they initiated him, right? And like fucking Vax
That's
knocked him
Kynan.
out with one hit, right?
That's kind of
And he
that's
was like, I want to join you, and he was like,
yeah.
whack, and everybody's like, what the fuck, man? And he's like,
Yeah.
he's got to learn. He apologized, brought some money to the baker, his dad, or whatever, and then now he's a captain. Hey, he did it. He's doing something for the good of for the greater good. I think it was from the last episode that there was a dude in Whitestone whose hat was folded up on one side. Now that is a cowboy thing for riflemen.
Okay.
You know, which apparently these days you're probably only going to see in Whitestone with their massive amount of rifles and, you know, for
Maybe
defense
we
and
did see a
whatnot.
lot. We did see a lot of firearms in Dark Toe on the
true.
in the other campaign. They had a bunch of firearms. There and who knows what's happened since then, right? There could be firearms. We saw firearms in Hupperduke. We
And
saw
what kind of
firearms.
hats are they wearing, you know?
Yeah, who knows?
So like either no hat, I mean, I guess in Dark Toe they might be having pirate hats if they're going traditional pirates, you know.
Tricorners, who
But
knows?
you can't sight that rifle without that thing fucking creased right up like that.
Well,
you know?
we'll think about it in Hupperduke, right? There was all kinds of weaponry going on in Hupperduke.
Yeah, they did have a
for
lot
the
of
war
gunpowder.
effort. Yeah. So who knows what's happening over there, right?
Yeah, I just don't remember a lot of hats being brought up over there. You know?
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was a nice little detail that Matthew brought in that was never addressed by anybody. But he's like, he just described the character as this, and I don't know if he had guns on him or not. But I was like, Matthew knows what's up. He knows what he's doing. I just thought it was a nice little touch.
Well, I we think those are things we come to expect from Matthew Mercer,
I know.
amongst other things.
Of course, you know, it turns into a bunch of, hey Matthew, well done. You know, I've got plenty of these things for not just Matthew but
A
others.
whole bunch of Matthew well-dones.
Yeah, you know, this is just gonna be a Chris Farley episode. Rollies, let's go. Finally, above 10.
Natural 5.
Natural 16.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going from the top. At one point, all right, this is table dynamics type of thing that I like.
Okay.
Versus players versus spectators. So at one point, Ashton was talking to Delilah.
Okay.
This is in the second half, yeah. And Matt said to Taliesin after he was saying a bunch of stuff, and I'm saying Matt to Taliesin, not Delilah to Ashton. He said, I find your depths of ignorance boring. Right?
Yeah,
and it was
remember
just
that.
like a big one, like, you know, Travis over like, I loved that line so much because imagine yourself at the table and this DM is saying that to you, and imagine how Taliesin is feeling like,
Yeah, sure.
that probably burned quite a bit, you know. But as a
Sure.
spectator, it's just Delilah saying it to Ashton. It's like nothing. But I had to put myself in his shoes. I'm like, damn, how would that feel, you know? And I love that because I obviously, as you know, I don't play that much, but I love thinking about the two different things, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those you have to sort of you have to suspend some things, right? You have to check your ego. You gotta, you know, realize that it's just like Matt says it all the time. It wasn't me. I didn't kill them. It was so and so that did it. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just what they do. And you can see the anger, the panic, and the fear, and the rage, and the happiness, and the joy, and all of those things that come from the players. And it's like, yeah, but it's not Matt. You guys are so happy or angry or sad or pissed off at or whatever. It's the NPCs that he is projecting.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, they've had I think Marisha was the one, or maybe it was Matt, where it's like, you know, they drive home together before COVID, I believe, where they drove the same car home, even though they went home together or whatever. Where like Marisha be crying in the, you know, in the seat there. I don't know if she's driving or not. And then like Matthew's also crying because he's like, that's what happened. You know, it's not in his control. That's just what the characters he created did.
You have to be true. You have to play it true. It cheapens it if you don't.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
My yes, I don't have a yes end for that one.
I think we might just be all over the board on this
I
one.
think we might be all over the board.
Yeah,
and I'm
which is
okay with
fine.
that. So I'm just gonna throw out what was my very first one. This felt right from the hop, right from the beginning of this, when they went through the tunnel, came out of the roots, or through the roots, out of the tunnel, whatever it was.
One way or the other.
When they popped up at the wall, and they jump on the wall, and then they see that the city is moving, and it's like then he stabs the city,
Yeah.
and it's like
What a nice move.
It's like marrow, and then it starts to bleed, and there's all of these and I'm like, is this the Cognosa Ward again? Like all I was
I did
getting,
not think of that, dude.
all I was getting was vibes of the astral plane, and I'm like, this
That
is
didn't
astral
come up to me at all. Ooh.
This is astral projection, the spell. They're in some weird demi plane that don't know where it is. And I was getting serious as the city was shifting and moving and odd angles
city.
and the bones. I was like, this is the living city that was floating in the Cognosa Ward, the Sun Nova, right?
The reason I didn't think that even close to that was because it's Whitestone. You know, I mean, it's Whitestone.
Well, it's a nega Whitestone, or whatever,
Right.
Whatever that means.
Got to be careful with those words.
Don't tell me how to use my words.
Okay, I won't censor you.
I choose them carefully.
Yes,
No.
you did. He definitely said Naga Whitestone.
That's right.
Okay, very strong. Either.
No, it was just I was like, it's a living city. It's bone and blood. It's like these bones that are shooting
Marrow.
up, and it's smell of marrow, and the everything is living and moving and actively stopping them from going. I mean, yeah, we know it's mostly Delilah that was doing that, but at the same time, it's man, I
don't know
vibes
that.
in this one. Yeah, no, but I don't think anybody. I don't think we ever will. This will be like one of those. I don't know. We're going to learn a lot of things again next week. More reveals, but
What this would be is either something we figure out next week or something that some shows talk about on the side, and it's always just speculation.
that's right.
So you heard it
That's
here
right.
first, folks.
There you go. Rollies.
Rollies.
Oh boy,
7.
I got a 4.
Hey. All right. Well, then, since you mentioned that, speaking of the bleeding buildings or whatever, fucking Travis called it again.
Right.
He went to chisel it, and he's like, "Does it start bleeding?"
Yeah.
And then
He's really since EXU Calamity, the Sarret vibe is very strong in him. Like that
Yeah.
whole Inquisitor thing where he's figuring shit out, and he, I mean, I think it's not that he's just starting to figure things out. It's more that he's vocal about it now.
yeah, and he's a smart dude, and he's also getting very well versed. Like, in the beginning of campaign 3, I was like, there are no secrets here. I feel like we know everything. Turns out I was way off, But there's a hell of a lot more to learn there.
Yep.
But Matthew was giving a lot of information really early. I just didn't realize how big the bubble got, right? But the part that I'm giving you accolades for now, you, Ben, not the viewers. If I point at your face, it's not pointing at you. Matt's poker face.
Right.
Because when Travis said, like, does it start bleeding?
Yep.
And then Matthew really quickly, he was like, Rolla, no, there's no blood. And immediately went like this and just looked down. I'm like, there's the tell that Ben's talking about every time. Because I don't know how to say it exactly. There's a difference between a poker face and a tell. That I don't think that makes any sense because they're exactly the same thing, right? Being able to hold a straight face or being able to curtail some emotion on your face is different from a poker face.
It is absolutely
like having a poker face is being unpredictable and not reading what they say or
It's not
think.
even unpredictable. It's just you have no idea what they're thinking. It's like it's not so much that it's unpredictable. It's that you don't. It doesn't. It's nothing. It's zero.
It's a blank slate. There's nothing you can read from.
Blank. There's no read.
Yeah.
That's the poker face.
See, now
The tell.
I would agree with the idea that being unpredictable has something to do with it. I'm thinking about all these fucking serial killer things that are coming out on Netflix and shit, where it's like the ones that didn't get caught for a long time did not develop any patterns. So like if you do this every time somebody gets something right,
That's right.
But if you
That's
you
tough.
might laugh at something, or you might do this, and you might do
That's
this,
a
you might
tell.
take a drink, you have to keep it mixed up, and therefore it's unpredictable. But this one was just a straight up tell my second time
tell.
through.
Yeah, it's a tell.
Yeah,
That's right.
totally. Yeah. So good on you for
Nice.
I finally caught one. 'Cause I always thought he had a
Yeah.
good. I
Oh,
thought I thought he was good.
I will yes end that one as well with about an hour and 10 in, as when they see, who was it? This was the very first Whitestone Andy sighting when they're
Whitestone
12
Andy.
years.
What?
Yeah,
Go.
the 12-year-old that was in the alley when he's like, let's play the
Oh.
game of secret treasures.
Wasn't Whitestone Andy from Bo? And it was a joke for Laudna?
No, Whitestone Andy. Whitestone Andy is Laudna's.
I think it was Boughs, dude.
No,
Because she'd had
Bo has never been to Whitestone. Why would Bo ever go to Whitestone?
Whitestone Andy. What was his name? Andy. Shit. Was this? No, it wasn't Keyleth because she never.
No, it was Laudna.
Oh, it was Laudna?
Yeah.
God, I gotta watch this campaign again.
Come on, man. Bo never went to Whitestone.
No, but she did have a. Fuck. I'm getting a whole bunch of things. I'm pretty sure Bo had like a boyfriend at one point, and then she figured out it wasn't for her. But that wouldn't be Whitestone Andy.
No.
But wasn't that a play off of like Johnny Craghammer?
Yeah, 100% it was. It was something. It was just a silly thing. So anyway, I'm calling him Whitestone Andy.
Okay.
The boy that Laudna liked.
Right.
And that was the one that they wanted to play. He wanted to play Secret Treasures or
was
Treasured
Whitestone
Secrets
Andy.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's there,
or the
and he's like-
visage of Whitestone Andy.
Right. And then Matilda is like, where as we start learning that Laudna is not, her name isn't Laudna. Likely that was her mom. Likely, I don't know. Things get really confusing, and I can't wait to be cleared up. If they ever get cleared up, Laudna, when she comes back, she'll probably clear some things up with them.
Well, she'll probably come back as Matilda if she does. That's my guess.
When they're having this conversation, I really enjoyed the whole, it's just flames or shadows or shadowy flames or whatever. The purple, it's not really a clear figure. It's very, I love the imagery was wonderful.
Oh,
But
yeah, it's beautiful.
There's a moment where they're having this conversation where and I've got a timestamp on it, 1 hour, 10 minutes, 30 seconds. Orem asks if they've been looking there for a little while, if Orem can use Know Your Enemy to figure out if the AC and the hit points in relation to his own. And I thought this was really interesting.
That's clever.
Matt was like, "Oh no, the AC is much less than yours, but the hit points feel to be higher than yours." And as he was saying that, I'm like, "What the fuck? Like that doesn't make any sense. This is a boy. This is a memory of a boy. Why would this be?" And then it was like, this is Matt letting the cat out of the bag here, that things are not as they seem, and there is
giving you some info.
more of a here's a thing, and you guys need to be prepared that these may be visions and these may be memories, but they are controlled memories.
Yeah, they're manipulation tools. Right?
That's right. These are traps.
Yeah.
And Travis started figuring that out, or Chetney started figuring that out. He's like, "No, this is a trap, man. This is a trap. Get out of here. We got to get out of here." So it was interesting. I thought right off the hop, I'm like, right, you're not letting them. You're giving them these skill challenges, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. But it's also a little bit more than that. It's also a bit of a cat and mouse kind of game, softening them up and trying to force their hand by wasting spells and things for the final confrontation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I got. That's my S end.
Great. That's the SN. Shit, we're back to rolls again.
We're back to rollies again.
All right,
we'll go through these quick. I like rollies, man. Let's roll some.
Yeah. We've been kind of low on them. Fucking 4. Jesus.
10.
Dick.
I get a 10. 10.
I'm just rolling like shit these last couple of weeks.
I'm gonna carry on with that one. It had to have been 3 times, I think. I meant to count it. 3 or 4 times at least, where Matt said the tree.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. The tree. Blah 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 blah. You see the tree. Blah blah blah. You see the tree, and the tree seems to be connected to blah blah blah. And I was sitting there. I'm like, is this like Matt was basically very clearly telling them that the target should have been the tree. So don't target Delilah. Don't target anything else. Everything else is just peripheral stuff, just distraction. They need to be attacking the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of me.
Strong hint, Matthew.
There was part of me that was thinking like, well, they're not getting the hint. And then I started thinking, no, they don't want to metagame. They don't want to jump into it. They don't. This is like a weird reverse psychology sort of a situation where they're like, oh, we hear what you're saying, but our characters are idiots, so we're gonna play the characters the way they would see things, and they're not gonna do it. And then I was like, oh, is that growth? Is that like, are they growing here? Is this some weird like? And then Ashley just full on went, oh, fire, okay, and burn the tree down. So. And then Imogen at the end too with the lightning bolt. But it still felt to me that there was some resistance to metagaming going on, where he was dropping all of these hints. And again, I'll go back and I'll say when I do watch chat on my second watch. Chat was freaking out. They're like, hit the tree, attack the tree, attack the tree, attack. And they weren't at all.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, they hit the branches, then they hit the roots, then they hit the trunk. Finally, on the last part.
All of those attacks on the tree happened in the second half of the combat.
Yes.
They weren't initially. They weren't going for it at all. And Matt had dropped several hints at that point about the tree. Mm-hmm. So, Anyway,
but it's kind of high. It's my first time through. I didn't really pick up on it either, even though Matthew kept on saying it. I was like, but look at these immediate dangers. These immediate enemies right here. These seem to be causing more. If this is bothering me, then why would I hit that? So
I catch myself doing this all the time when I play D&D and when I'm actually playing with the DMs, I instantly, my brain goes instantly to the bigger picture. But I'm forced to play as my character. I have to remind myself, don't do that. That takes the fun away from it all.
Right.
Play what your character would do.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. Fortunately, my character's fairly smart, so I get to play that card sometimes. I'm like, hey, it's not too dumb, so I'm going to go this way and play.
You don't see it a ton. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't see it a ton where somebody says like, "Can I do like an intelligence or a history roll for this right now?" That happened quite a bit in campaign 2.
It did. These guys don't do it that much. Orem does a little bit because Liam likes to play that way. Yeah. But
they'll usually just ask a question and then Matthew would,
The other guys don't do that quite so much. Yeah.
They're all kind of stupid.
They are. They're not a very intelligent party.
Like the highest is 14.
In their defense, FCG doesn't know anything about his history. Right. Ashton doesn't really know much about his history. He caught
a glimpse of it during that white flash, which we might get again in the beginning of the next episode.
Definitely the story's still to come for sure with him. But yeah. Anyway, that's sort of my point right there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go off of what you were kind of saying before with the how this whole thing. I think you're right. I think it's now that we've seen this episode is kind of not vindication, if that's the right word, because you were not really challenged, but the whole 4 successes, 2 failures for the skill challenge.
Yep.
And as soon as he said it. I love it because it's like he doesn't have the skill challenge laid out for it. I mean, he never really does. Like, in campaign 2, when they're running away from that lizard palace, they get launched out and they're like, all right, it's a skill challenge. Let's go. Just like, what are you doing? Just toss shit out. How are you going to help? All that stuff. He doesn't know what they're going to say, but it's pretty easy. He's like, okay, so that would be a perception. Okay, roll, And in this case, this is a long term.
Almost 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a long-term skill challenge, And it's nice because it has a great, wonderful feel. And I don't recall because at one point they had 3 successes and 1 failure. And I'm like, ooh, okay, now it's down to the wire. And then I hit the brake. And then now they're with Delilah.
I think Delilah is the 4th.
That's what I would think too. Yeah, right.
That was my take. That it was sort of set up that way because we had 3 encounters, right? We had the encounter with them in the alleyway. We had the encounter in the barn, and then we had the encounter in the house, in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
So those would be the 3 ones, and then the 4th is going to be with Delilah.
Basically, so the second half of this episode would be the 4th, and if they lost the fight, maybe Laudna doesn't come back, or which would be.
It was touch and go there for a minute too. It was nice. It was good to see. It was a little dicey. I wasn't completely
when FCG,
sure.
He's like, I'm gonna go hang out with Marisha.
Yeah. and then
Liam same.
Liam
like,
exactly
I'm out,
the same.
dude.
I was like, and Imogen was down to 6 hit points, man.
I know.
She was down to 6.
And she did the the roll again thing with the
Yep.
potion. Ooh.
Listen, that's one of my
was good.
points, which I'll just throw out there. This battle, this whole episode was saved by those potions of possibility. If not for
Totally.
them,
Those things are
it's
powerful, dude.
Probably done.
It's
Yeah.
just luck.
Yeah,
like
luck in a
2
bottle.
lucks for 8
Yeah,
hours. Holy
luck in a
shit.
bottle.
That's insane. And they get another bottle if they need it. You know, don't they each have like 2?
Something like that. I got a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
with
man.
Delilah, I was worried about the Delilah fight because, you know, kind of like Bertrand was diminished in level because he was so damn old, we're assuming. But then Delilah, she maybe had been weakened because of whatever reasons.
Well, yeah, I don't. Well, she's looking for, like she said several times. She's like, Laudna is just the most convenient way right now. There are other ways. I was sort of thinking, I was getting serious lich vibes from her, like where she's like on the cusp of becoming a lich. I mean, Matt kind of, again, to use the same thing. He kind of let the cat out of the bag with the skull. Ah, there goes my dice.
It's going to be a 20. It's going to be wasted.
That was the 20. It is 16. 16.
You got to train Lacey to get your dice for you.
Oh, she is. She gave up on me. As they were destroying the tree, the skin started peeling off her face, and then it's a skull visage with the green glowing flame eyes. I'm like, that's lich. That's all that is lich. Lich.
Yeah. Any
And then I
game
was
you
like,
play,
is Laudna her phylactery? Like, there was a whole bunch of thoughts were crossing my mind. I'm like, what is, as a warlock patron, can that even work? But everything's weird, man. Like, is Vecna the one that controls if she can get to become a lich or ascend or come back to, I don't know. There's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Fucking can't get rid of Delilah, man.
Nope.
Whatever they seem to do.
There was a moment when at the very beginning, right after the farmhouse, when they sorry, not after the farmhouse, when they right after Marisha came in and sat down at the seat and said her little thing, and then Imogen's like, we will sunder you, and I psychic lance her. And I was like, that is some Laura Bailey anger as Vex coming through there. Like that was there. I was like, there's no way Imogen is that angry with her. The Imogen has no right to be that angry. That's a little bit more. That's there's a lot going on there.
Okay, I mean, I might.
Sorry, I'm kind of jumping through my points here as we go, but we're talking about it. So
I mean, her love for Laudna might fuel a ton of that. I mean, that's where I see it coming from.
Sure.
That's where I justify it for myself.
I agree with you. That's exactly where it's coming from. But
And if
sheer
that's the
rage,
problem, that's where it's going to go, you know?
the sheer rage that was coming through told me that it was also.
So it was a little bit too high for...
Yeah, there was more there. Like, this is an enemy that they've dealt with through 2 campaigns.
Yeah, well, I mean...
This goes back to campaign 1. Yeah. I mean, Laura,
yeah.
is like, I fucking hate this NPC. I just want her to die. Like, this is, they dealt with her in campaign 1, and then in the one shot, the Dalen Closets
Nearly
one
fucked up her
shot.
wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Like that shit.
By
Like,
simply tying their hands behind their back. What are you going
Right.
to do? We're dead.
Right. Right. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's more there than just Imogen being upset about Laudna.
Yeah.
This is Laura also projecting a bunch of other stuff.
I also give benefit of the doubt because Imogen seems to have undiscovered rage issues, perhaps
yeah.
because of Rudisborn,
yeah. Oh, sure, maybe.
So that's where I'm justifying it for myself.
Speaking of, what was that I call Rudis thing? I want to know what the hell that meant. Like, she's suddenly a blood hunter now? She took psychic damage to
There's this
inflict
thing that we don't know about. Yeah.
What is that? More homebrew.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What did she say? She said, and I take 3 points or whatever.
Yeah,
and she didn't say of what.
No. And then she rolled damage dice on herself. She took 6 points of damage or something.
She
and
took
then,
like 12, and then 14 went to Delilah. It was pretty
something like
close.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, that is a thing.
We'll figure something out, I guess, eventually. That's just
maybe
like...
eventually. That might not come for a while. Who knows?
Yeah. I think that might be... related to that thing that Matthew did in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, I don't remember, where he's like, check your D&D Beyond. And she was like, oh, and then they're like,
right.
oh, what? You can just do that?
What is it?
You
What
know?
is it? What is it?
Yeah. So I think it might be related to that after the
100%
Odahan fight.
could be. It totally could be. That could be the feat that she got. Who knows?
Yeah.
Really?
Are we rolling or my yes and? I don't remember.
No, I think you beat me, and I think I did my yes and so. Oh
Man.
no, I think I beat you, and you got yours. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
I
You're
think
right.
I'm yes anding, right? Because I rolled
No.
like shit.
No.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Shit. Somewhat related, I suppose. And this is a question for you, personally. The turn undead versus destroy undead, which
Okay.
came up with FCG's situation. Sam had the question where he's like, "Well, he's at level 7. It's a 4th level spell, but they're saying it was a 5th level. You get it at 5th level, or is it a
No,
5th level spell, or what happens there? What can you
if
clarify
you're-
that for?
so the-
Clarify
yes,
that for
so,
me.
Yeah, so the rule it works at 5th level or beyond. There is a chance that you can, instead of turn them, you can destroy them.
Okay. So
And
the
then
level of the
at that
character
point-
at okay.
Yes, at that point it's based on the undead CR. So if they're like skeletons are like quarter CR, or they're half CR, maybe not quarter, they'd be like skeletons can't be a 1. They're probably a half, or it might be a 1. I'm not sure. It might be a 1 CR. So then if they roll under his turn undead, under his channel divinity,
Which was 14,
whatever,
I
it was
believe.
14. Yeah. So if they roll under that, they're not turned, they're destroyed.
Yeah. And only one of them saved. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. That clarifies because there was like like level 5, level 7, level 4
No,
level spells.
Sam
like,
was making
okay.
it confusing by talking about his spells, and then he's like, "But we're level 7. I'm not level 5." And then it's like,
Yeah.
no, man. If you're over level 5, and then they are a certain CR, then they are destroyed. It's on
Yeah.
the. It's
That's what
literally on the. It's on the sheet, like it's on the cleric list. It's just like it tells you exactly what it is and what it means.
Okay,
if Sam,
cool. Yeah.
If Sam ever actually looked at D&D Beyond instead of just
Instead of just shilling for him. Does he get paid for these ads, you think? He must.
the company probably does.
Yeah, I mean, the way he threw
And
in that
that's
ad, like his bonus action was, and
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't think
also
he
get
I
your
think-
spooky backgrounds. He must
Yeah,
be
yeah,
getting
yeah.
paid. Come on.
The company probably does. There's part of their advertising deal with D&D Beyond. Who knows, man? That's all contract stuff. Who knows?
Cool. All right. Hey,
Rollies.
got a few more to go.
I got a couple more.
First
13.
time I've dropped it. But no, that's second time I've dropped it.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Hey, I'm back, baby. Hey, I'm back, baby.
What's mine gonna be?
What you got over there?
Oh yeah, right. I got 13.
Fuck, I got another 8. God damn it. I
Man,
can't.
you're rolling really low. My point about this one is sort of a big picture thing. What the fuck is Pike doing right now?
That's a good question.
Like this is. I was like right at the very
I was
beginning
going to
of
save
this.
this
I was
for the
like,
end, but same
if-
question.
This whole episode is in these 2 episodes have been basically the last episode was mostly in this astral projection spell. This one is entirely except for the very end. The entirety of it was in the astral projection. So in the spell, it's like I said this last week to you. In the spell description, it's you and up to 8 other willing creatures travel to the place. Now Matt's like, well, no, Pike's not going with you. So what is Pike doing? Is she like just sitting in her home, just sitting in the middle of the circle of all these people, just concentrating?
I think that's it.
Can
It's
she
a concentration
see what's
spell,
happening?
I guess. It lasts
When
for up to an hour, right?
No, it's up to 8 hours. It's
in 8
long.
hours.
Yeah,
so she's just
it's
sitting
real.
there fucking concentrating,
I
eating
think it's
muffins.
up to 8 hours. Yeah, I think it's 8 hours. Yeah, she's just chilling. And then when FCG pops up, she's like, FCG's like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's that
Right,
conversation?
which we didn't see yet. And
And
then
then
Orem.
when Orem pops up and says, hey, what's going on? It would Orem and FCG be like, don't bring them back yet? Or, hey, bring them back right now? Like, what they would say.
Well, I think they'd let it go because, as they said, like if that cord gets severed, you come right back to this life. So there's not a whole lot of danger
They don't
there.
know that until it happened.
That's
right?
not true. They talked about it.
No,
That's what Pike said.
Pike said she wasn't sure.
Oh.
Matt also said he wasn't. You don't know. They asked several
I
times.
heard that wrong then.
Several times, Taliesin asked and said, "What happens when we go back?" And Matt's like,
Right.
"No."
Okay. I think Pike rarely gives like a, well, this is what happens.
Yeah.
She's always like, well, I'm not sure, but I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So what is Pike doing? Is she as classic Pike? Is she thinking like,
Oh, should I bring him
no.
back?
Should I bring him back? Should I bring him back? Exactly. I'm trying to figure out how that conversation would go. So
Yeah.
I could pretty much assume that she's just going to be like, okay, we'll just play this out and see what happens. But
Yeah.
you never
Well,
know.
I guess if the two of them came back, then hey, there's your answer. But we don't know if that happened. So,
Don't know.
you know, so she'd be happy to see them, like FCG,
Yeah.
but like, oh, Smiley Day,
100%.
it's going terrible in there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that conversation. There's part of me that keeps thinking like he kind of modeled his cleric after that cleric because they're both sort of that same kind of bubbly, happy personality. That's just it's all good, everything's great.
Pretty standard for like a holy healer, you know?
Yeah,
Like, what kind of
well.
an asshole would be a holy healer, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Although
don't know if
again,
I've seen one.
FCG has only found divinity now.
Right.
Like with this, and it's barely there because everything is about this fucking little tiny coin that he's got. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. He doesn't know anything about the Changebringer. He just found out that it's a she.
One of the good ones, and it's a she,
Right.
yeah.
It is she. Right? He knows like he literally knows two things about the Changebringer.
Yeah.
Oh, three things. It involves change, which is I thought was pretty funny about the coin.
Yeah.
This coin is change, and then it's a good
Way
one.
to
And
spell
she.
it out, Ben.
Big old Captain Obvious.
Remember, guys, because coins are change. Yeah, and also the decision to go left or right. You know, they're like, we're going
yeah.
left. And he's like, I'm going to invoke the Changebringer with the coin. I'm going right.
Yeah.
And then they went right. I wonder what would have happened if they gone left. I'm sure nothing would have changed.
Nothing
but-
would have changed. It was exactly the same.
Wait, hey, no, that's perfect for the Changebringer. They were going left, and
they changed.
Changebringer changed it to right.
Change
Hey,
it to right. There you go.
there we go. Well,
Got it.
I'm failing miserably at my rolls, so I'm yes-anding on that. Shit, I had something to say. Oh, Sam must have been super fucking stoked that he actually got to cut that cord from his gag.
Totally.
You know, because
Totally.
there was a commitment there with the clip of something.
Yep.
He must have brought some prop over to clip this. Like he brings it over, and then the tank, and then the clip. You know, he must have been like, "Oh shit, I get to use everything. That's amazing."
Oh, I'm using the set now with my gas can.
I'm being attacked by my screen.
There you go.
Does it look better if I'm? I can't.
It's fine.
All right, that's all I had to say there. So I'm gonna yes and with a fucking random old other thing. All right, I'm gonna take a little dig at Laura here.
Oh, do it.
Orum's natural 20 when he was in the limbs of the tree
Yep.
to stay in the tree because Delilah wanted to rip him out for some reason during that battle.
Yes.
And then he said like I'll let you do like it was either strength or a athletics saving throw or a check. It was probably saving throw, I'm guessing.
A dex saving throw, I think, or something like that. I think it was
One
a
of
dex.
those.
It was like a dex saving throw, and then another. Oh no, maybe that was the barn when they were trying to get out of the barn. Yeah, that's what. Anyway, yeah, it was one of them.
He had a few.
It was
He had
one
a
of
few
them.
pretty clutch 20s. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he
a
had
couple
three
of
this one, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of 20s, and then Taliesin had all the worst rolls. Yeah, it was bad. But
Yeah, Talison's the new Ashley.
it
for
was
the rolls.
it was rough. It was rough.
I'm inclined to think this was a strength roll for this one because he's not that strong. You know?
I think you're right. I think it was like, oh, this is gonna go real well, and then he's like natural 20.
Yeah.
So it was-
but
yeah.
right before he said natural 20, Taliesin leaned
Taliesin
over
called it.
and said
Yep.
natural 20 immediately, like they were overlapped, like it was
Almost,
like
yeah.
headphones were off sync type of thing.
Yep.
And then Taliesin, bless him, he was like, oh, like immediately cringe. He's like, sorry, I don't like to say it just in case it's not. So like it's okay now because it was. I feel like it probably wasn't, but I think at that every goddamn time that Laura does that. Because I'm sorry, I'm not watching, I'm listening.
You're listening.
So
Yeah,
I'm
she
listening, and then she goes, natural 20. And I'm like, oh no shit. And they're like, nope, that's a 13. I'm like, fucking Laura, knock
she
that
calls
shit
it-
off. Stop
She calls
doing
it
that.
all the time. At least once or twice an episode, she calls out natural 20.
Yeah.
Like,
has
it's
she done
like-
it this campaign very much?
Oh, absolutely.
Has she? Because campaign
yeah.
1 and campaign 2,
Every-
she was just like shouting natural 20. And I'm like, you
No.
can't
She
fucking
calls it
do
a few.
that.
She's called him a few times. Yeah.
And I feel like that's Taliesin silently or quietly being like, I also hate it, Tucker. I'm here with you.
I'm gonna if you don't mind, if I'm gonna just jump on and yes and on that one.
Get on it.
I really, really enjoyed Talison's commentary about Fern were being super indecisive, and Taliesin was like, well, hey, we're really close to each other, so if you're not really sure what to do, I can lend a hand here. I was like, that is some fucking amazing camaraderie, team playing, with it, looking at the situation and saying, I can offer some advice because we're on the board, we're right beside each other. And he did a similar thing.
that.
He did.
He's
and
like,
he did a
I'm right
similar
there. I
thing
think I could say something. Yeah.
He did a similar thing earlier with Chetney about saying that, and Chet, maybe you want to move your guy over at the end of your turn to set up some flanking. And he's like, I only say that because you don't move your own mini. So normally I wouldn't say that. And I'm like, that is a fucking really intelligent thing to say.
I didn't catch that one.
Like,
but yeah,
he's
that's
like,
not meta. It's
not. It's not. It's like that's one of those things where it's like, you don't move your own figures on this board, so maybe you would like to do that. And he said it afterwards. He's like, maybe move around there. And he's like, I say that because you don't move your own minis. So,
right.
And
so
even Matt looked
very
over
explicitly
and was like,
said that, right?
Yes. And Matt sort of looked over and nodded. And I was like, fucking hey, man, that's a cool thing to say. Like, that's one of those experience things that it's like, I'm not talking out of school here. This is a thing that you should be, you can be aware of. And if you moved your own figures, you would know that, or it would be potential to that. But because you don't, it's cool.
Yeah. And Travis has always been all about that. In campaign 1, he was
100%.
a melee motherfucker. He's always aware of who's flanking, when she puts Trinket up right next to him, he'll go on the other side to get advantage. There you go.
Right.
So that's great, especially when Matthew does the whole nice move. Like, good to be friends there. I might want to yes end on that just because it's similar. Another accolade to Taliesin, since we're let's get on the Taliesin train here.
Nice, I'm down.
Just a small thing that I caught only my second time through. I don't remember if it was before or after. Imogen was saying something bad's going to happen, right? And this is like when they were all getting dressed for dinner, and like before they cracked through the green glass or whatever. And she was like, things are going to go bad, but when things get scary, remember us and stuff like that. I think it was around that time. I wish I had a timestamp, but I didn't think of it. Ashton says everything's going to hurt. Like in concern for not Laudna, for
Imogen.
No. Oh. Laudna's real name as a kid.
Matilda.
It's like he is in constant pain, and this is him looking out for her.
Okay, gotcha.
So he's using this character and really reaching out because he does not want this for anybody else, especially her. That hit me pretty close. Like, for him to remember that and to show that it was so quiet and quick that I didn't catch it the first time, which I don't catch a lot of things the first time, but I was like, ooh, Taliesin, that was oof, that wrenched the heart a little bit. It's like, everything's gonna hurt, and I don't want that for you. I don't want it for anybody.
No kidding.
He can handle it, but for other people, just like we learned, every movement is pain because of his new body or whatever.
Right.
Oof. That was a heavy, wonderful moment from Taliesin.
Nice.
So Taliesin, we know you're watching.
Of
Excellent fucking RP this episode, dude. Totally.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes he gets lost in it because he's a little bit of a negative, tends to lean towards more on the negative side of things. Ashton does. So I think that oftentimes the rest of the cast or the rest of the table kind of glances and then it moves on. Like, doesn't lend a lot of credence to some things he says because exactly. He's more not one-liners, but it's more of like a one line about how shitty everything is. Yeah. And it's
that's Taliesin's wit, that's where that intelligence shines through, man.
Yeah, totally. Hey, listen, I don't have a lot more. I got a couple more things I could say, but they're not really that relevant. I loved all of the campaign 1 references, the doors, Sam yelling about doors. Like, maybe just stick your sword into it and try that, and like the Legend of Vox Machina reference. Yeah, that kind of made me laugh. Time is a flat circle. It was fun. I really genuinely don't have anything else to say about this. It was a really good episode. These ones are turning into my favorites so far.
I'm gonna see what I'm gonna see what roll I get just in case we had another rollie.
Okay.
A fucking 6, dude. I just can't get anything.
That dice. You need to burn some sage or something.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do the quick one real quick,
Okay,
but I'm also
go.
gonna tack something onto it.
Go.
Ashley is doing her numbers a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've noticed that, but like
I
you
did.
remember in campaign 2, even towards the end
Painful.
of campaign 2,
Painful.
she would just like roll and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. It's like, no, just roll first. Don't find your modifiers first. Roll first. It could be a 1, could be a 20. It saves
Yep.
everybody a lot of time.
Yep.
Matthew's so patient. Just be like,
Mm-hmm.
and add, I think your modifier is 6. So add 6. You know, like they're just excruciating. But now in this campaign, in the early of this in the early episodes of this
It's almost-
campaign,
yeah.
she was still pretty slow. But this
It's almost
episode, I was
like-
noticing she's getting it.
Yeah, it's almost like she's learning how to play D&D for the first time.
Almost. After how many years? Fuck. They had their anniversary recently.
7
7 years, something like that.
2016. So it's 2015. 2015, I believe. 7 years.
Yeah. All right. So that's
Yeah,
a
man.
quick little thing. But last one, your opinion. It kind of tacks on to what is Pike doing right now.
You're right.
And there are things happening in this little dream world abyss situation going on. And do you think anything's happening in the real world?
Based on this stuff?
Yeah, because
No.
they're like, in
100%
this
no.
in this imaginary or this
No.
abyssal, this separate plane. Is
No.
there anything maybe
Connected?
happening to
No.
the sun? Did the sun tree lose some leaves?
No.
Is there like a scar on the tree?
No.
You know, or is there damage to
No,
the side of
that
the
would-
castle? You know,
No.
you don't think so?
No. No. No, I don't think so. I
'Cause, like-
think that would listen, it's a 9th level spell. I suppose anything's possible, but I'm gonna just right off the top, no. I'm gonna say no.
You don't think
This
so?
this is a memory. These are memories. This is the past. Like I think they made that very clear. Like they're like when Fern and Imogen were both saying, "Don't go to the party. No, don't go. Don't do that. Don't go to that dinner party." And Ashton was sort of like, "What the fuck, guys? Like this is a fucking memory. This isn't real. Anything we do here isn't going to reflect." And I think there was some fun role playing, but yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to say no.
Because you know, I like to be surprised sometimes, and like if they go back, if they're all like, "Oh, after this white flash, after this situation," they all go back, and Pike says, "What the hell did you do?" You know, but FCG's already
why
there.
is the sun tree split down the middle, guys?
Right? Why is there this big thing in there, and there's this strange body in there? It's like, and then they go and they find Michaela. What the fuck's her name?
Matilda.
Thanks. That's what I said. Remember? And they go in there, and then they find her, but she's not undead or something. You know, like could be all kinds of things.
Do you think, as there's one other thing that I wrote down, do you think that man and the woman who were maybe mom and dad are Keyleth and Grog? Big beard, bald head, wearing the green apron. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either.
Can you imagine Grog? I mean,
Well, Grog
he
was
made
a
it
man
seem
that-
pretty clear that he wasn't good at it because he was like, "Laudna, is this right?"
Yeah, but I don't mean Keyleth and Grog. I mean they were the dummies that were hung from the sun tree.
The same.
They were the stand-ins because he had the big beard
interesting,
and he has the bald head, and then she was like red hair and had the green apron, and then we know that from the imagery that they weren't the same ones. They were like the Grog one was stuffed full of stuff to make him look much bigger like Grog.
Yeah.
And there was
And I believe Keyleth's her hair was
Had the-
painted red, right, or something.
right, and then had the antlers nailed on
Just
the head
like-
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, creepy.
Interesting. You got Whitestone Andy. We've got the fake Grog and fake Keyleth all up in here. Huh.
we'll see. Who
It
knows,
makes
man?
sense if they're all at that table, you know.
Sometimes, yeah, it could
And
be.
especially if
It
they're
could
like
be.
low lives. I
I don't think that's an original thought by me. I think they might have been sort of the looks that they were sort of exchanging with each other. They were sort of like, that's Keyleth, that's Grog, that might be, could be. I think they're all paranoid about everything now. So
Yeah. They also said gray beard, right?
yeah, gray beard, yeah.
So like an older
Yep.
person. I didn't pick up on the bald head, but I thought it was a gray beard. I didn't pick up much about the mom.
I don't
The
think
first
it
time
was
through,
bald,
I was
actually. I think it
like-
was salt and pepper hair. I think is
Okay.
what he said, and then the beard was aging. But who knows? Yeah.
But you could shave that shit off if you're
Yeah,
gonna nail
totally,
Ant
totally.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Huh. Yeah, my
Yeah, I
first
did
time
say
through, I'm
I
like,
did say
oh, is
bald
that
head.
Delilah and Silas? You know, I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense because they're getting ready to go see them. So maybe
Totally.
it's. But he said Laudna. So why would she choose Laudna as her name if that's just this
I
other
don't know,
chick in the
man.
tree?
I don't know.
And then they're like, is that her mom's name? That makes a lot more sense.
Was that her mom and her dad? Because it's yeah, a lot. Like they clearly all went to the dinner together. They were all going to the dinner.
And if
I
she's
mean,
like at that age, what, 20-year-old?
maybe late teens, maybe.
Yeah, like a
Who knows?
17, 20. I think he
Who
said
knows?
teenager, right?
Yeah, he said teenager. Yeah, or one of them was like the little one. There was the teen Laudna / Matilda wanders upstairs, wanders the other room, and then they turn and they jump scare them through the window, and that's that shit. I don't know. Just things to think about.
Food for thought.
Yep. We'll
It's,
find
you know,
out next week. Probably not, but we'll find some things out. Listen, this is the last. So next week is the last week, and then they're a week off, right? So they do 3, and then it's out.
It happens so fast, man.
I know it does. So I think what's going to happen is, and knowing that and seeing the patterns come, there won't be as much of a cliffhanger next week. Next week we'll resolve the past 2 cliffhangers. This one will be Laudna will come back, I'm assuming, and we'll explain a lot of these things. So we'll find out. I think my prediction is she comes back with a soul, and it's
Her old soul, perhaps.
and she's playing a human, not a hollow one,
Sorcerer?
and it might be strictly sorcerer.
No more warlock, because
No more warlock. Well, Delilah's not dead, not defeated.
she's
Delilah
somewhere.
Just
Somehow. In
100%.
Lickdom.
They are not powerful enough to remove Delilah from the face of this whatever.
Yeah,
these
that would
planes.
have to be a
It's-
banishment, like
this
Vecna
is-
style, right?
This is exact. Who knows? Who knows what that would be. But
she's not trying to
clearly
it,
Vecna is watching this one and wants her to be. This is a disciple. So, my take is that now this was the separation of the souls. So now Pike can do the ritual to pull the single soul, put it into Laudna's body, which means she's a human, which means there may not be a patron anymore. Which, who the fuck knows what happens now?
Yeah. I mean, if she got her warlock just from Delilah, then yeah, and she got her sorcerer from something, but I don't really know where, you know.
I'm anticipating a complete new character sheet right up.
Yeah, different
but
name.
it's-
It's going to be Matilda, not
Might
Laudna.
be Matilda from now on. Might still be Laudna. Who knows?
She might choose, you know,
Yep.
to honor her mother or the person who played Keyleth on the tree or whatever the fuck's going on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interested to find out for sure. Fuck, I didn't think about that. I'm going
We'll
to
find out. We'll find out
watch the
next
second half before I pass out and go to bed.
week. Okay. Hey, it's 10 o'clock. Let's call this.
Yeah.
I gotta
man,
take
it's been
the
over an
pup out.
hour. I expect this one to be like 40 minutes. Jeez.
I gotta take the pup out wherever she is.
All right, cool. Yeah, I need to get some sleep. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so. All right, cool. Then, hey, y'all, like, there's just so much. This is not a recap show, so there's a lot of stuff that we may have missed, and you know, just get in touch down there. Hamilton,
please
keep
do.
those questions
We-
coming. And
Yeah, man, we love
what was
them.
the
Keep
other?
them coming.
What was the other chap's name? Do you remember?
Demetrius Lazardis.
Demetrius Lazardis. Yeah, keep in touch. You know, like
dude,
we look at these things every week, and we'll
Anybody else out there, if you got a thing to say or a question for us or a comment or a hey, shut the fuck up, asshole, whatever it is, keep them coming.
give us shit, give us accolades, whatever. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We can take it. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Email. I still haven't checked the email. You know,
Does
who's gonna do
does
that?
email exist does anybody use email anymore?
No, I use it to sign up for Netflix or something, and you know, the occasional porn site or something. But yeah, if there's nothing else, I do have a show on November 5th. So if you happen to be in the Taichung area, come on down from Japan or wherever the hell you're at. Or hey, you know, we got Compass Fest on November 5th if you want to come on up. Other than that, if there's nothing else, all right, y'all. Hey, don't forget to love each other. And is it finally goddamn Friday? Peace.
Peace.
Y'all. Take care.